Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. You know, there wasn't really a lot in this episode to sit there and talk about, but I swear, I think I can't keep taking. Well, here's the thing. I am actually glad that Katie did apologize and Brooke apologized to Electra for firing her without even really sitting there investigating or not even, even thinking about the possibility that that's what those pictures were. Because she even sat there and said, you know what, listen, I work in PR, I work in marketing. I know what that is. And I'm glad she did actually say that to her. Now, I don't need her to apologize moving forward because every time she does, she just sounds dumber. Speaking of dumber or just stupid in general, after, you know, pretty much Carter and Hope and, everyone apologized to her and, welcome her back into the fold and, you can come back to work and stuff like that, there's a point where Will and Electra are talking. And after this unnecessary long ass flashback, because, they gotta sit there and pad these 18 minutes or whatever, there's a point where they're in the office and then they explain it again that Remy got caught by the police. And I'm like, when they first sat there and said that Remy was apprehended, I was like, when? Because I watched the whole episode, and at one point in time did I sit there and see any cops. But they said that they apprehended him afterwards. Like, they was like, oh, well, we thought that he escaped, but, the cops picked him up later on. I'm like, see, this is what happens. You're very either cheap on the budget or your show doesn't really have a budget to sit there and even bother to get extras to play cops just to actually get him, just to actually confirm it with our eyes that he got, got arrested. He's in jail now. We just got to sit there and use our imaginations. Okay, sure, whatever. Now, the stuff with Taylor and Steffi plays out like you would imagine it would play out. Steffi is happy that her parents are spending time together. Taylor's sitting there thinking that Brooke is going to try some sort of move to get Rich back. Um, they're both, Steffi and her usual bashing and trashing Brooke and sitting there saying that, what she did was wrong and it was a power grab and blah, 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 blah. Just, her usual trashing of Brooke. Um, Eric is still upset. Ridge is still getting not good news from Justin. Brooke comes over to explain what she was trying to do. And finally, she gets a chance to explain her whole plan that she was planning on, she took that job so this way she could try to get the company back because she didn't like what Carter and Hope did, and she's still in love with Ridge, and I'm still your Logan and all this other stuff like that. And she did sit there and say, listen, I'm upset that you turned towards Taylor, but I'm not going to sit there and allow it to stop me. And I'm like, wait, hold on, let me get this straight. So he calls your daughter some pretty terrible names. That's not enough to stop you from loving her. The minute that he got upset with you and turned towards another woman, not just any woman, Taylor, that didn't stop you from loving him. This is where, and she talked about the whole destiny and everything like that. I was like, bro, you're just pathetic at this point. This is the definition of pathetic, okay? Because how any woman can do all that clearly shows me that they have a very low self esteem and no integrity in themselves whatsoever to sit there and be that desperate for another human being's attention. And I don't just mean her and a woman like her, because I've seen guys just like lose I mean, hell, we're looking at Carter at this point right now. I mean, he practically committed a crime just because, as Rich said, he didn't want to be lonely. So, when I sit there and say that Brooke is pathetic, he is not the only person in this show that's pathetic. I mean, Taylor is talking about how good it is to sit there and be with Reg, but I'm like, how many times are you going to sit there and go through this? Hell, you had broken heart syndrome because you went through this so many times with Reg. And you're sitting up there having tea in the afternoon or whatever and talking about how good it is to be a Reg, knowing his pattern. Yeah, I'm dumping a lot on Brooke, but I'm like, Taylor, you're not that much better. You're really not. Now, I did sit there and see the previews, and, Electra gets to sit there and meet Dollar Bill with Will and everything, and of course, Luna, psychotic ass, is sitting there looking at Will like he's a snack and everything, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Here we go. But of course, that's what she got brought back to the show for, so that's fun, I guess. I'm looking at the wrong notes. So it's like, there's no Dante in this show. There's no Dante in the show, right? Reg. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much about it. Like I said, there wasn't really a lot in there, um, in this episode, but I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that because I was like, that's some sloppy ass writing, but it's B&B, so I'm not really too surprised in um, what they're able to do, which is damn near nothing, but whatever. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. Kind of a short review, but there really wasn't much. Next week's stuff looked like it's going to be good. Next week's stuff looked like it's going to be good. But it also was a little kind of disappointing, though, to kind of go back to the BS of Ridge, Taylor, Steffi, and Brooke, because I feel like, yeah, they are main characters on the show, but they also, their storyline is really bringing it down. Like, I had so much fun watching yesterday's episode with Will and Electra and Remy. Even though Remy just seemed like he was very one note in what he was doing, but like, oh, and today they also talked about the dangers of AI, which I'm like, okay, how many more PSAs are we gonna sit there and go through when it comes towards AI and the dangers and revenge P and everything like that? Because it's like, I get that not everyone watches episodes every day, but like, I don't know. I don't know with these soap operas sometimes, just like even when they try to do a PSA, sometimes you just wind up falling flat on his ass and you're just like, I give you points for trying, but whatever. Um, I'm gonna sit there and just ask just a wild question. For the people who've been watching it for such a long time, what makes you continue watching the show? I'm pretty sure I asked this question like maybe about 2 years ago, but what makes you continue to sit there and watch the show? Because I haven't watched the show nearly as long as other people. Okay, when I started watching the show, they had Krista Alley as Taylor, and he was doing this whole miracle back and forth three, like this interchangeable love triangle BS, right? And at one point, they actually had Brooke and Taylor be friends, and a lot of people sat there and said, "Albert, this is not going to last. This is BS. It's not going to stick." It really should have stuck because at the end of the day, that's when those two realized their worth. And he realized that I'm not going to sit there and trade my integrity for Rich. He is just not worth it. And then they just completely went left and tried to make Taylor come across as the villain. And so, like, at the end of the day, nobody learned the damn thing. This could have been a great moment. Maybe Taylor go out with Deacon and Brooke goes out with Bill or something like that. But no. No, 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 no. They had to make Taylor the bad guy because rumors of Brad Bell being in favor of Brooke. And now they're doing it all over again. They're doing it all over again. And at the end of this love triangle, Rich is gonna be back to Brooke. He's gonna be sitting there saying, "My Logan," and like, it was kind of cute in the beginning. I'll sit there and say, and there's reasons behind it I'm not gonna get into. Now it's just coming across as annoying because you can see the pitfalls of where this goes. So I gotta sit there and ask, what makes you still watch the show? What makes you a fan of the Bold and the Beautiful still? After so many years of you watching the show and seeing how the show has played out, I want to know. I legit want to know. Also, come to the live stream too. I want you to sit there and say your answer here, and explain it here. But we can sit there and talk about it during the live stream because I will be talking about all four shows, as you know. Bold and Beautiful, Young and Restless, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives. Bold and Beautiful, Young and Restless, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives. Okay. And I'll see you in the next video and live stream.